Man, listen to this. Listen to this. This is what a microphone is supposed to sound like. So if you listen to not Lisa's podcast, but the podcast before, that was on the built-in microphones on the H4n recorder. So you probably have no interest in this whatsoever. But these are the things that I obsess about. I obsess about these things. And that's okay, the H4n, I forget what I paid, $300. And if you go back and listen to the quality of that audio, it was the podcast, Where Do We Go From Here, or where, something like that, whatever. It's two behind this one. The quality is night and day. This is a Behringer microphone given to me by a friend. His name is Robert, and Robert and Hannah run a music studio here at 15 Broad Street, and I am so pro young people. I'm 48, and I really kind of believe that my value in life it's already a charade. That I walk around like I know what I'm doing. I have experience. I'm smart. No. Do you know? Okay, no, you don't know. I hate when I say that. Do you know? Yeah, guess what I know. Hold on, I'm going to have a sip of tea while you guess what I know or what you know. Something. Hold on. I, probably 10 years ago, pulled a philosophy book out of a closet or something that I had, that was from a philosophy class I took in college. And I, in college, didn't write in notebooks. I just wrote in the margins of the books because I just felt like that was, I don't know, it was all there then. It was just easier to reference in one location. And so at any rate, I'm flipping through this philosophy book that I remember having read, okay? Not what was in it. I just remember reading it. And I can't tell you what the philosophy was or the philosopher was at this time. But then I came across the notes in the margin that I wrote. And I know I wrote because I recognized the handwriting. And I couldn't even understand what I was saying. Do you get it? Like, I was writing things about philosophy in my late teens and early 20s that, like, late 30-year-old or early 40-year-old sage couldn't even understand. Like, I'm like, what is this person talking about? Do you know when... Okay, let me ask Google. Let me ask Google this. Hold on, allow. How old was Einstein when he developed the theory of relativity? Okay. Let me read this to you. In that same year, which has been called Einstein's Annus Mirabilis, amazing year, he published 4 groundbreaking papers on the photoelectric effect, the Brownian motion, special relativity, and the equivalence of mass and energy, which were to bring him to the notice of the academic world at the age of 26. That's what scientists say, that is the peak of our brain, is right about 25, 26 years old. Everything is downhill from there. Downhill from there. And let me tell you, I feel it. My brain, my body, I'm just barely useful. Which is so funny because we pay the 26-year-olds dirt. And then people like me, we get paid the most. And the 26-year-olds are the smarter ones. I mean, maybe they don't have some experience, but whatever. A lot of times experience is what actually makes your decisions worse, because your experiences just create anxiety and fear and trepidation and anger. All this pent-up life that's just stewing inside of you. So your brain is dumber, and you are just shrouded in a cloud of convoluted hate. Anyways, so I'm really into young people. I'm really into like I love thinking about Joan of Arc. She was 16, leading these battalions. 16-year-old woman. And then, do you know this other young woman, White Rose? Let's see, White Rose. Let me. Oh wait, I don't need to be typing anymore. White Rose in Nazi Germany. Let me read you about these people. So the White Rose was a nonviolent intellectual resistance group in the Third Reich led by a group of students and a professor at the University of Munich. The group conducted an anonymous leaflet and graffiti campaign that called for active opposition to the Nazi regime. But here's the deal. There was a 17-year-old woman. You might as well call her a woman because she's the most badass human ever. Who they found, the Nazis did, and ended up executing her. And they were all like, the Nazis were like, well, if you tell us who was in your group, we won't kill you. And she's like, no, screw you. And they ended up hanging her. Look up the White Rose. They're really amazing. I cannot remember this young woman's name. She was 17 when she was hung. Let's see. 17-year-old anti-Nazi protester. Is that her name? Sophie Scholl? I think this might be her. Yep, Sophie Scholl. Sophie Scholl, born 1921, died 1943, was a German student and anti-Nazi political activist, active within the White Rose nonviolent resistance group in Nazi Germany. She was convicted of high treason after having been found distributing anti-war leaflets. She was handing out leaflets at the University of Munich with her brother Hans. As a result, she was executed by guillotine. Oh, I thought she was hung. Since the 1970s, Scholl has been extensively commemorated for her anti-Nazi resistance. Can you believe, 1921 to 1943. Okay, 21 to 41 would be 20. Okay, she was 22. All right, I take it back. She died at 22. There was another young woman, 17-year-old, that got hung. Anyways, this woman is such a badass. And listen to this. She and the rest of the White Rose were arrested for distributing the 6th leaflet. This is the 6th at the University of Munich on February 18th, 1943. In the People's Court before Judge Roland Freisler on 21 February 1943, Scholl was recorded as saying these words: "Somebody, after all, had to make a start. What we wrote and said is also believed by many others. They just don't dare express themselves as we did." Just such a badass. Such a badass. 22 years old. We discount young people so much, and really they are who we need to be listening to. If a young person says it, we should just do it. Get the hell out of the way. The old people need to get the hell out of the way. And I'm talking about me. I've been old since, I don't know, forever. Definitely old right now. Anyways, aren't you glad that you come to my podcast so you can be my therapist? Isn't that wonderful? It's wonderful. You're saving me so much money. So anyways, the point is that there are these two young people running a music studio, Robert and Hannah. Robert gave me this microphone, which I absolutely love. It doesn't even require power, and it sounds so good. So good. Behringer microphone, Behringer. And anyways, they run a music studio, and we talk so much. We talk about community, and we talk about this building, 15 Broad Street, where this is in the front of where Tent City was, in our day center, where we took a stand and said, look, there are a lot of homeless people on the streets of Akron that have nowhere to go. And that's basically what we did. Was we were like, look, you are living in a fantasy world if you think people wouldn't rather come here and live in a tent. And they're like, don't be stupid, Sage. This is the most ridiculous thing. Close it down and pretend it never happened. Pretend it never happened. You can't. The genie's out of the bag, the box. Where do genies live? Bottles. The genie's out of the bottle. They don't like to go back in the bottle. The truth of the matter is, there are people living cruel, torturous existences all over America, in the streets of America, and we are ignoring it. The third great wave of human rights atrocity in America is 21st century homelessness. What we did to the Native Americans and African Americans as slaves, and really today, to this day. We're the first two great waves, and we are in the third great wave, because no human being should have to endure this torturous existence that we allow to happen. And in fact, not only do we allow it to happen, homeless service providers often like to tell me that the street is motivating, meaning, if it hurts enough, maybe they'll get in line and, sign up for housing, sign up for mental health services. And that right there is completely ignorant to their actual clientele. To think that is going to be their response, that they're going to be like, God, it sucks out here. I'm going to go stand in line at this this housing office. No. You know what they're going to do? More drugs. They're going to do more drugs. Because drugs, unlike a line at a housing service provider, actually take away your pain for a while. I'm telling you, you do the same thing. Don't think you wouldn't. Don't think you wouldn't do exactly what these people are doing, and maybe much worse. You can't imagine, I can't imagine the unbelievable trauma and fear and anger and frustration of continually getting your things stolen and continually getting beat up, and as a woman continually getting raped. You cannot, if you haven't lived that, ever say, well, they need to stop. Yeah, they need to get off the drugs and get a job. It's like telling a slave that they should stop being a slave. You know what? You shouldn't be a slave. I was looking at this. I was looking at you in your chains over here, and that doesn't look good. You should stop being a slave. It's exactly the same. I mean, no, it's not exactly the same. I don't want to say that. But there is a parallel, okay? There is a parallel that these people are chained to an existence of chronic homelessness that they cannot escape, okay? To think that it's just 100% free will choice that they're living on the street is nonsense. Anyways, when I pick up a microphone, I swear to you, I have something I want to say, and then I say something completely else, different. Anyway, I wanted to talk about community. All right. So something that Hannah and Robert and Ashley too, our community director from the homeless charity, talk about is community, and not community. We don't. Robert and Hannah and I particularly don't exclusively talk about community in the homeless population. We talk about community in the American population and how we are destitute of it, how we do not have community in America anymore. Now, obviously, we see pockets of community. We see pockets of community in churches. There is a wonderful community at the school my kid went to, Spring Garden Waldorf School, and I would imagine many Spring Garden schools have incredible community. Before we sent our kid to Spring Garden, we sent him to another school, a private school, for a year. I think a year, maybe two. I can't remember. It is in preschool, and very high end. Elite school. That's where I wanted to go to preschool. My kid hated it. But when you read the contract that you sign, they were like, the parents have one obligation: to be financially responsible. That was it. Just pay your bill. Just pay your bill and we are good. You don't have to volunteer. You don't have to show up. You don't have to do anything. Just pay your bill and we are good. And that is America. Just pay and we are good. And that is how we lost community in America. Because everything is about paying your bill. There's a real risk at churches, quite honestly. I've had family members that have left churches because they were just constantly being hounded for money. Which, what are you going to do? I mean, you got bills. Literally, I was driving in here thinking about the bills of 15 Broad Street and how I can make more money. How can I help the homeless and build a community and pay the bills? Because if I can't pay the bills, I can't have 15 Broad Street. Simple. Simple economics. Simple. That's what America is. And so we all get caught up in the money, and money becomes the primary driver of everything. And then everything else takes a back seat. And consequently, I believe it leads to isolation. I believe that's the worst product, I think. I don't know. I have to reassess that. a significant negative result of capitalism is isolation. You can see it, right? Sitting at home, watching our Netflix now, not leaving our house. And that's a big part of the conversation Robert and Hannah and I have is how do we convince people to leave their house? Lord knows I don't like to leave my house. I'm in an orbit. I have an orbit. And it goes house, work, house, work, house, work. And that's how I like it. And then on the weekend, it's just house. With a few trips to a store. You know, I like to go to Sam's Club. I like Mark's. I like Target. I like Walmart, personally. My kid, he's not a Walmart fan. There's good deals at Walmart. What are you going to do? I like to go to all the stores. I enjoy looking at things. I like all the shiny things. But there's no community at Walmart. I mean, how many of us, without looking at a name badge, can say hello to our cashier by name? I mean, if you can do that, you're a superhero. There's no community at Walmart. You can't find anybody at Walmart. There's not, like, you want to find something at Walmart, you get the app. Don't get a person. Oh, the apps. Do you get those apps? Do you download the app for Home Depot? Greatest invention ever. You're like, I need what I'm doing some torch down roofing. I'm not going to get involved. If you don't know what that means. Believe it or not, there's a very common method of roofing flat roofs that involves a torch. Doesn't that sound counterintuitive? Torching your roof. It's true. It's called torch down. Anyways, I need a torch. Roofing torch. I type that into my app, and poof, tells me exactly what aisle. There's 3 of them right now at the Cuyahoga Falls Home Depot. Only 1 in the Fairlawn store, so I will be going to the Cuyahoga Falls store. Not because I know anybody in the aisle at the torch roofing section of the store, because I have more of a relationship with an app on my phone than I do with any human being at Home Depot or Walmart or Target or Sam's Club. I have more of a relationship with an app than I do with most human beings. You know how much Candy Crush I play? I have more of a relationship with Candy Crush than I do with my doctor. I see my doctor quarterly. I go in for my antidepressant medication. And, we have a great conversation. I like Dr. Amanabu. He's amazing. But the amount of time I spend with Dr. Amanabu there's I would think 20 apps on my phone that I spend more time with than my doctor. So we are developing relationships with computer programs. You listened earlier in the podcast, me talking to Google. I don't even want to say it. If I say, hey, Google, if I say that, hey, Google, hey, don't say it too loud, hey, Google. If I say that, there she is. Hey, Google, do you love me? Let's see. She's confused. Yeah, it says, of course, you're one of a kind. Yeah, I don't believe her. Bet she says that to everybody. I'm now talking to Google more than I'm talking to, I don't know, everybody except 5 people in my life, maybe. And I mean, it's crazy. I have more relationship with an artificial intelligence on my computer, and it's just going to be more like that. The more they can understand me, know what my birthday is, tell me they love me. She didn't even say she loved me. She's like, of course. Do you love me? Of course. Like one of those boyfriends. Like, say it. Say you love me. Yeah, you know I do. Google won't even tell me she loves me. It's terrible. We got to get back to community because the isolation that is happening in America, driven by, first of all, it started with 24-hour news stations. And then I think driven heavily by social media. We prune our relationships and our information. Or Facebook does it for us. We don't, if you're into Facebook, whatever, it doesn't matter. They all do it. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, those communities, and I use that term incredibly loosely, those social media platforms change based on how you respond. So when you press a like, they're like, oh, okay, you like that. Or, you know, you get into some stupid fight, some political fight. I see it all the time. Like you're going to change somebody's mind. People swearing at each other because, you know, they are on one side of the political spectrum and the other person's on the other, and nothing gets changed except more anger. But if Facebook sees that you're engaging with that, you know what you're going to get? You're going to get more of that. You're going to get more isolation and division because that clearly is what interests you on Facebook. Whatever interests you, whether it is negative or positive, and I think a lot of times negative because we respond viscerally to negative cues, then you're going to get more of that. And then you're just like, the world sucks. The world is a terrible place. Everybody I see out there is just terrible and evil. And so we live in that realm. And so consequently, we become more divided and less connected, and community continues to fade away. But what I'm here to tell you is community is humanity. We are a community-based creature. I mean, I guess it's possible we might evolve to being just isolated cubes. But I'm here to tell you that if you have a community, you know how incredible it is. You know how incredible a community is. They know you and they love you for who you are. They don't judge you. I'm talking a good community. I'm not talking your family. Your family may be toxic. It may not be toxic. I don't know. It depends on your situation. But a community of like-minded people that come together around a common cause or idea or event, all the other stuff fades away. Like, if you go to a church service, you're all thinking about the message, hopefully, or at least being at church. You're thinking about being at church, saying hi to people you haven't seen all week, knowing their name, and every time, and they saying your name and knowing you and not coming up to you and being like, if I read one more political statement from you on Facebook, I'm unfriending you. No, that doesn't happen at church. I hope not. I hope not. That's why social media is so toxic. And kids are killing themselves over Instagram because they can't live up to the unrealistic standards of Instagram photos. Real community just focuses on what we're talking about during the community. It's not about like being told that you need to work on this, You need to lose weight. You need to quit drinking. You need to quit doing drugs. You need to get a better job. That's what Facebook and your family are for. Community is just about loving you. Like, hey, Sage, what's up, man? How are you doing? I'm good. I'm good. That's new. Well, doing this. I've got a new microphone now. Oh, yeah. Wow. Cool, man. Cool. Well, we're not talking about microphones. Yeah, I know we're not talking about microphones today. We're here to, there's going to be a jazz band playing in the background, and I brought some cheese and, crackers. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to eat them and, catch up. Like, yeah, man, cool, dude. I'm so glad you're here. Yeah, glad. I'm really glad to be here. And then you walk away being like, that was so nice. Those people are so nice. Those people are wonderful. We should hang out with them more often. Because they're not judging you, man. They're not judging you. They're just loving you for who you are. That's amazing. We don't do that anymore. Very few people get that opportunity, and I want to be a force. We have this thing we're doing right now. It's called our Giving Season Event Series. We're basically all of the month of December, we're doing a series of events where you can give. Like last night, we made gift bags for homeless people and did manicures. And it was really wonderful. Wonderful. And there is a high school girl. I guess I'll say girl. I like the word girl. When I say the word girl, it elicits a very positive image for me. And I think maybe someone under the age of 18, maybe you can classify as a girl, but if it's insulting, I apologize. I don't, young woman, I guess. I don't, anyways, maybe that's me being old. But anyways, this young woman, she's a freshman in high school. She has come to 2 of our events and really has never done any. She had to do a part of a class, like health class. She had to do 10 hours of community service, and she chose us. And so she had gone to our Christmas tree decoration, or we decorated our transitional houses, and so she had been, she went to that, and then she was here last night, and I was like, so how are you enjoying this? She's like, I really like it. And I'm like, oh, cool. What did you notice anything? Did you find something that was unexpected? And she's like, they were a lot nicer than I thought they would be. And that is awesome. That's my plan. She had an idea of homeless people being, I guess, mean or grumpy, crotchety. All right? And she was like, they were a lot nicer than I thought they would be. And that is community. Because that changes everything, right? Because she probably wasn't anti-homeless or anything. She just was like living her life. She's like, well, there's homeless people and that sucks and blah, blah, blah. But, and we have these visions of people, right? And then you interact with them in real life and you're like, oh, whoa, interesting. That wasn't what I expected. Didn't think they would be nice. I love that. That's so wonderful. That is what community does. Is that a group of people come together for a common cause, and you're all working on the same thing, and you're like, wow, these people are really great. These people are really great. You don't know what their political stance is. You don't know, are they pro-abortion, anti-abortion? Do they believe in God, don't believe in God? Do they love Donald Trump, hate Donald Trump? none of that ever comes up. None of it comes up because that is superficial bullcrap. What matters is we're human beings working together for a common cause. And that's really the story of humanity. Doesn't matter if you believe in God, don't believe in God, love Donald Trump, hate Donald Trump, think our healthcare system is the most amazing thing, think it's the worst thing ever. It doesn't matter. That's irrelevant to what's important. That we're all trying to move forward in a positive way. And how we get there can be different. But you know what? If your way doesn't hurt somebody else, it's fine. Your way is a fine way. If you hurt other people, then we got to talk. But if you're just like, whatever, I do it this way, I go over here, I do this, I do that, it's fine. And we're missing that in society, that like, it's fine. It's fine. We get together on Saturdays, we listen to music, eat cheese and crackers, and we should catch up, see what you did this week. How was work? How's your family? Working on any projects? How's your car? How's life? Reading any good books? These are the questions of community. I would like to be a positive force of bringing back community, because this is how we solve homelessness. This is how we solve all the problems in the world, honestly. Politicians and businesses divide us, keep us, off center so that we buy things and vote for them. But they are the fallacy. They are the make-believe of the world. What the truth of the world is that we have much more in common with each other than not. The vast majority of us just want to be comfortable, maybe see their kids grow up and do well, not suffer in their senior years, finally die a peaceful death. Those are the basic things we all want, And we need to remember that. And that's a big thing. And when you have a vision of a person like a homeless person, it's exciting, because if I can integrate not 50 homeless people at once, but one or two homeless people into a group of non-homeless people, the outcome is always positive, because they get to meet somebody they just heard about, a homeless person. There's a homeless person. Whoa. Never talked to a homeless person before. Then you talk to a homeless person, you're like, oh, wow, that guy works, can fix cars. He's got a job roofing. Isn't that crazy? He's a roofer working, and he still lives outdoors. Wow, that's weird. What's going on there? Seems like a nice guy. Why does he have to live outdoors? And he's working. And then we're working together. And we're like, hey, man. And then the other side of that is the homeless person's like, whoa, here's somebody that I've never met before, middle class, upper middle class, and they're talking to me like a human. That's really cool. That's really neat. They're nice people too. Huh, I'll be darned. Maybe, I enjoy talking to them. We like talking about the same things. We have a lot in common. And that is how we save the world, through community. There you go, people. I hope you enjoyed this new microphone. I know I did. Lovely. Think about community. Think about, if this interests you, how you could do just a little bit more community in your life. Like go to, if you're in Akron, go to one of those Mustard Seed events. They're free. You go to Mustard Seed, you sit up there, and they play, Annie Duchamp. She's like always out there. Amazing musician. Go and play. Watch Annie Duchamp. Sit up there. They have free water. If you don't have any money, just go up there, grab a glass of water, sit there and listen to Annie Duchamp or whoever's playing in Mustard Seed. And see how you feel being around. Maybe take a friend. Sit there and enjoy yourself. Get out. Leave your house. See if it makes you feel better. I bet it will. All right, everybody. That's all I got for today. You have a great day. I'll see you later. Bye.